Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie, and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to begin with 3 of these DIY wood dice from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go in with the Waverly chalk paints in the color Snow White, Pumpkin, and Maze, and I'm going to paint them, and then I'm going to use the super glue wood glue and some of these Dollar Tree wood stems, and I'm going to place them on top of the dice to turn them into some pumpkins. Candy corn pumpkins, of course. So I'm going to add these on top, set these up aside for a while, allow them to dry and cure for a bit. In the meantime, I'm going to take another one of these stems, and I'm going to take some of this berry garland, pit berries from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to wrap them a few times, snip off the excess, and I'll do this a few more times just because I wasn't sure what I was going to use, and I'd rather have more than not enough. I can always use the rest for later. I'm going to take some of this orange burlap thin ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to create 3 sweet little bows, just some cute little shoelace bows, and kind of finagle it till I get it to the way I want it. Just gotta press and pull and tug and all the stuff. Snip off the tails in a diagonal, and I do 3. Now here are my stems, nice and set for the most part. Now I'm going to add my trundles, and I'm going to wrap it around the stem and then just kind of finagle it and press it, and then kind of widen the trundle a little bit. And I'm going to add some hot glue to my bows and adhere those on there. And now for this white one, I decided to use this green one. I thought the contrast was pretty. And then I'm going to add my bow with some hot glue and looking sweet. And then I do my last one. And like I mentioned, I ended up having extra the trundles, but that's okay. We use them for another time. No problem. Add another dab of glue and place it on like this. Super cute. Now I'm just going to add some florals. These are from the Dollar Tree Fall Collection. This is the filler bush, and then these are wildflowers. And that is it. This is how they look. For DIY number 2, I picked up this decor piece from Hobby Lobby. It was on clearance for $1.55, and it's missing a piece of wood on the side, but that's okay. We'll deal with that. Now I'm just taking my heat gun to soften up all this glue on this Valentine's decor piece. We'll see this in January probably for something else. Now I'm just taking my finger sander and sanding off all this glue, and now I'm taking some of this hot glue and I'm going to reinforce this piece that was coming up. So here it's nice and reinforced. And now I'm going to paint this in a black paint. And while it's still wet, I'm going to add some of this Waverly color Night Sky to give it a little bit of a blue shade. And I'll also go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color Pink Sky as well. Again, just to give it another tone in this spooky sky. No, it's not too spooky. It's pretty cute. Now I'm going to use these Dollar Tree clip decor pieces. They're made out of wood, and here I only have 2 of each, but I do end up using them all for my decor pieces. And now for this video, I'll use these 4 different colors that go with my candy corn theme, and they are the orange, the white, the yellow, and I do end up using black as well. So here I'm going to start using this orange one, and I'm just going to do the 3 different colors for candy corn. So now here is my board, nice and dry. Now I'm taking these craft sticks and I'm going to cut them to size, different variety of sizes. I'm going to create some house forms. So I'm just going to use some hot glue and attach all these pieces together. So here I'm creating a roof line, and then the piece that I'm holding is the wall of house form like this, and I'll just place it down and I'll get them all adhered in this manner so it looks like a little village. And now I'm going to go in with these 3 paints by Apple Barrel and paint them in this manner, and taking some hot glue and adhere them all to each other. That way they're nice and strong because they're a little flimsy. So here I'm going to use my craft clips to keep them in place like this. And then once that glue is nice and set, then I go ahead and adhere these pieces to the board itself. So here I'm just going to lift it up so I can see a little bit better, and just adhere these down to the frame like this. Now this last piece, all I have to do is adhere this to the second little house. Wanted to give it an upstairs until it looks like this. Now I'm just taking my heat gun to remove any of the webs, although I probably could have left them, it is Halloween. And now I'm going to take one of these plaques that looks like a haunted house, and using my EMT shears, I'm going to snip off all the little windows. I do have tiny windows from Amazon, but I wanted to make this Dollar Tree as much as possible. So here they are all cut out, and I'm using the same 3 colors to paint them in a candy corn pattern. And now I'm going to take some of this Crafter Square vinyl to use for the backs of the windows to make it look like glass because it's so shiny. Now here I'm taking some parchment paper, and I cut out these templates that fit on these houses perfectly. And here is some candy corn fabric that I had Mod Podged last year for another project, and I'll put a picture up here of what I made. And I went ahead and just put everything together, and a little moon up top and a little bat. I placed it in this one section, but then I moved it and I put it in the corner, in the left hand corner. And then here's the little pumpkin or the jack-o'-lantern, and I placed this down the bottom, and then I do use another one for another piece. Now here is a 2x4 that I painted black. I wanted to make this piece a little bit more substantial, so I'm just going to adhere this frame onto this 2x4. Look how cute. And so now here is some creepy cloth that I'm going to kind of conceal where there's no wood on the frame. And of course I'm going to use these candy corn bottle brush that are new from the Dollar Tree to place them in specific areas. And now I'm going to take one of these galvanized metal banners from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add a little bit of the white paint, and using my chippy brush I'm going to spread it on there. And while it's still a little bit wet, I'm going to add some of the yellow and do the same thing. And then I'll do the orange in the same manner. And I try to blend the colors a little bit, that way they kind of flow better. Now I'm taking some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink and using my chunky chippy brush again and doing the dry brushing. That way it gives it a little bit of distressed look. So I'm just going to go especially around the edges and a little bit on the front. Now to keep this paint from peeling off, got to use some Mod Podge, and this is my favorite Mod Podge brush. It's just a makeup brush from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm taking some of these candy corn pieces that I cut off my fabric that has the Mod Podge and placing them where the holes were, help conceal the holes. And now with the Mod Podge nice and dry, now I'm safe to add my vinyl that says Candy Corn Lane. Without the Mod Podge, you go to peel this off and you're going to peel off the paint. So use the Mod Podge. And then of course seal it up again with some more Mod Podge. Keep all the letters in place. And here's how it looks. For DIY number 3. For this video's project, I'm going to begin with some of this really cute crafter square candy corn printed craft fabric that they carry. This was my inspiration. So I'm going to snip off a good long piece of it, and I'm going to go ahead and open it up, stretch it out, and I'm going to go in with some of this Mod Podge, the matte Mod Podge, and I'm going to literally saturate this whole piece from the back, like saturate it, just like this. Now once it's dry, it's really stiff. Look at this, it could almost stand up on its own. So now I'm going to go in with my little detail scissors, and I'm going to fussy cut these little candy corn pieces. Oh my goodness. So to do this, it's best to go watch a movie, TV show, something. For me, it was watching my grandkids. So as I watched them, I would fussy cut these little pieces until they looked like this. Look how cute. And here they all are, nice and cut out. For DIY number 4, 5, and 6. So now I'm going to begin with my dollhouse transformations. So I'm going to take 3 of these dollhouses from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take them out of their packages. So I chose 2 of one style and 1 of another style, and I'm removing the furniture that's in there too. And there's some little people. I don't use little people, but I do use the furniture. You'll see that later on. And I didn't show it, but I did remove, or should I say, I did pop out the windows and the doors to paint them separately, but I didn't show it here. So here I'm putting everything to the side, and I'm getting ready to paint in the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and I'm going to do a full coverage, inside, outside, top, bottom, all of it, so it looks like this. And now I'm going to go in with some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color steel, and with my chunky chippy brush, I'm going to go in and distress these houses. I want them to look spooky and neglected and worn and old and all that good stuff that you would find in a haunted house. Even though these haunted houses are going to be kind of cutesy, still, you know, we have to have a little element of spookiness. But no, they're not gonna look spooky. No, they're not gonna look spooky, not these. If you want to see a spooky one, I'll link it up here in the cards of another house. Actually, this very same house that I'm working on right now, I made that one spooky in another video, so you could see a spooky one if you want to see a spooky one. Well, it's not too spooky, it's a little spooky. So anyway, these are not going to be spooky. I decided I want them to be cutesy, Halloween cutesy. And this one is in a different style, so I wanted to go ahead and distress this one to show you guys how it looks when you distress it. Oh my goodness, all the details, they just pop out. Look at that. And I apologize for my camera getting a little blurry. It's because my hand got a little close to the lens. But look at that. Look at the details on this one. Wow. This is really cute. Really cute. So I'm just going to keep working it and distressing until I get it to look like this. And here they all are. Look how cute they look. They look spooky. Okay, so here are all the windows and doors that I popped off. And I'm going to go in with some of this apple barrel paint in the color yellow, some of this jack-o'-lantern paint, and some white. And I'm going to paint these in these colors. And so here they are painted, same colors as the candy corn. And now I'm just popping in all the little windows and doors until I get them all to look like this. Look how cute. Now you can actually stop here. You could stop here and be done. Yes, because they look really nice. They look kind of spooky and candy corn themed. But you guys know me. I like to do my embellishing. Okay, so here I'm going to go in with my Elaine's Tacky Glue. And I'm going to use this to adhere all these little candy corn pieces onto my houses. I'm actually going to just do the 2 houses. I'm going to leave one simple so you guys can see the differences. You guys know you guys have choices. You can stop where they look like this, or you can just go ahead and continue to embellish like this. And this is the reason why I like to use the Elaine's Tacky Glue, is because you can still move things around and adjust them if you need to, whereas hot glue, you're pretty much committed. So yeah. So I'm just going to keep adding these pieces of fabric candy corn onto my 2 of my houses, and I'll just keep adding until they look like this. And look how cute. So I did two different styles with the candy corn and 1 with no candy corn, just to show you there's choices. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with these 3 paints. They're glow-in-the-dark paints. I'm going to use this yellow one and this orange one And then this white one. Now I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like the yellow one. The yellow one looks like it's almost greenish. But I went ahead and added it to my little window. I wanted to do yellow on the windows, on the yellow windows. And once I placed it on there, it looked so green that I didn't like it. So I ended up removing it, and I added just white just to cover up the green because it looked too green. Can you guys see it here? Yeah, I went ahead and left this in there to show you guys. Sometimes you just have to change things up. Okay, so here I'm going to use the white, and I'm going to outline these white windows just to give it an outline. And I'm using the orange to do the door, to the doors, and I'm going to do curtains on some of the windows. And then finally I'll use white on various other areas. So they all look like this. Look how cute. So cute. And also very different too. Very different. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I just had too much fun with these. I just think they're so cute. So here are the windows. Look at that. Curtains. Curtains. Okay, so now I'm taking the rest of this fabric that I had with the Mod Podge, and it had like a fringe on the end of it. That's just how it came. So I'm going to utilize that fringe, and I'm going to make some rugs for the inside of the house. Yes, so all I'm going to do is just cut them down a little bit and then hot glue them together to where there's fringe on both sides, like a rug. So I'll do that to all three, and I'll have rugs for all three houses, like this. All I have left to do now is paint all this furniture, and I'm going to use the same colors I've been using till they're done like this. Look how cute. For DIY number 7, I'm going to begin with 3 of these chalkboard home shapes from the Dollar Tree. We're going to paint them in these 3 colors, and this is just as simple as adding one of these decals from the Cricut Design Space. So if you have access to that, this is super simple. If not, you can grab a sticker or some kind of rub-on transfer. It'll work great on these chalkboards. Now once I get these done, I'm going to add these doors, well, one door and these windows that I had from last year. I didn't get to finish this project, so here I'm going to add them. And now I'm going to take some wood glue, the super glue wood glue, and some hot glue, and I'm going to adhere these 3 little houses together to make a trio. And I like where it says Home Sweet Haunted Home. How fun. And then the candy corn, love it. Love the candy corn theme. So I'm just going to adhere these two, or should I say these three together. And that is it, super simple. This is how they look. For DIY number 8, small cutting board and rolling pin from Amazon, and I'm going to go in with these same colors in the candy corn pattern. And now I'll go in with some Mod Podge, and I'm going to do a generous amount on my board, and I'll add my fabric. And the fabric I chose is, of course, the candy corn fabric from the Dollar Tree, and I'll just do another generous coat on the very top. You need a lot of Mod Podge to be able to cut this easily. You could do scissors or you can do a craft knife to remove it. And I'll do the same thing with the rolling pin. Add some Mod Podge, get pretty generous with it. And I just place this down on the fabric, which is cut perfectly for it, and just kind of roll it on there. And once I get it rolled on there, well, here I remove excess. I had an excess amount. Then I go ahead and do another generous amount of the Mod Podge to seal it all up. Allow this to dry. Here it is, nice and dry and stiff. And now I'm going to use my craft knife to remove the excess fabric. This is my favorite way to remove it. Here's how it looks. So now I'm going to take some of this orange rickrack, and I'm just going to embellish the very bottom of this little cutting board with a couple of strips of this rickrack. And I also do the top where the fabric meets the wood on the cutting board. And I do the two sides of the rolling pin as well. And now for interest, I added a little bow and some vinyl words, and here's how it looks. For DIY number 9, I'm going to begin with one of these MDF chipboard faux cutting boards from the Dollar Tree. This one was from Easter. And I'm going to take my scraper tool to pop off this top part. Now this particular cutting board, I got it for 50 cents because it was missing some of the little prongs that are on there, the little thumbtacks. So I only had one to remove, which was good. So now I'm going to take some paper towels, and I'm going to place them on top of both of these pieces, and I'm going to soak these pieces to remove the paper easily, or easier. So here I'm just going to soak it up with my spray bottle of water, and I'm going to allow this to sit for about 30 minutes or so. So here I come back and everything's nice and soaked. I'm taking the same tool and just removing all of this paper, and it'll just come off very easily. And now we have a clean blank that we can make whatever we want with this. So I'm going to set that aside, and now I'm going to remove the paper off this piece, and the same thing, it came out great. And now I'm going to paint them with a base color to get rid of the raw wood, and I did a black and a yellow, and I'm going to use these two fabrics to decoupage them on these pieces of wood or MDF board. And first I'm going to add my Mod Podge and be very generous with it, like this. And now I'm going to add my candy corn fabric. This is a remnant piece from the Dollar Tree that I had from last year. And on the bottom it's kind of frayed, but I'm going to leave it because I like that look, because it's kind of spooky, I think. So here's another layer of Mod Podge. Allow that to dry. Now here's my yellow piece. Do the same thing. Be generous with my Mod Podge and spread it all over generously. And my piece of fabric, this is also from the Dollar Tree. You'll see it a little bit later in another DIY. And get it all nice and straight. Now this has all the corners, all the sides frayed. And again, that's how I want it, so that's how I'm going to leave it. And then do another generous layer of the Mod Podge and allow that to dry. Now here it is, nice and dry. Look at all my little frayed ends. Love it. I'm going to fray this one a little bit more on this edge here. Needed just a little bit more help because I didn't put any Mod Podge on the frayed ends. So here's my cutting board. Now I'm going to snip off the excess like this. So now this is going to go on top, but not yet. I'm going to use these boards that I cut out with my Cricut, and this one says sweeter than candy corn. So I'm just going to remove the backing on these. This is some vinyl that I had to use up. I've had it for a while from Amazon. So I'm going to go ahead and add this, or add these. So I'm going to place this one here, then candy corn, and then sweeter on top. And I thought that would be super cute. And now I can just remove the transfer tape off of these words. So I'm just going to remove them real quick and add another layer of the Mod Podge because we're in Florida and we need all the help we can get with this humidity here. So add this, allow that to dry completely. In the meantime, I'm going to take some beads and some jute twine, add a little dab of glue on the end of the jute twine, make a bow, and snip off the end where I want my bow, my tails. Add a little dab of glue on that end as well, and kind of roll it with my fingers. That way it makes a makeshift needle. And I'm going to string 3 different beads on both ends of these pieces of jute twine. So I'll do a white, an orange, and a yellow. Do a good double knot to secure it in place, and then snip off the end that has the hot glue. And I do this to both ends. Now I'm going to take some more of the jute twine and I'm just going to wrap it around the top of this faux cutting board, just wrapping it quite a few times because I didn't have enough fabric to go all the way to the top, which I kind of like this look better anyway, a little bit better than having it all the way to the top. And now I'm going to add my bow with my beads, place it on there, and then later I do remove those extra pieces of jute twine. I just don't do it yet. Now here I'm going to take my lighter, remove all the fuzzies. Got to get all the fuzzies off. Makes it look so much better. And there's no worry about ruining anything. And now I'm going to take some of these florals. These are from Walmart. They're just wildflowers, but look at the colors. They are candy corn colors. Well, there's no white, but that's okay. We'll just use the orange and the yellow. And I think the green gives it a nice look too. So now I'm just going to take one flower of each color of a yellow and an orange, add some hot glue to it, lift up one of my bow loops, and place it on, and then I'll do the same thing to the other side. Add some hot glue to both at the same time, and then just kind of lift up the loop, the bow loop, and put it on there like this. Now here's where I snip off those other ends like this. So now I'm ready to add my other piece. It's nice and dry. All the Mod Podge is dry. So now I'm just going to add a nice generous amount of hot glue and press it down on top. And look at those frayed ends. They look so good. They look a little spooky. Okay, so now these are some wooden beads that I had in my stash, and I used my miter shears and I cut them in half so I can have a flat back. And now I can add these to embellish my cutting board, my candy corn cutting board. Look how cute. So I just add 1/2 of each of these wooden beads on each corner, and these beads came from Amazon, and everything will be linked in my Amazon storefront for you guys if you're interested in getting some of these. And that is it. Here's how it looks. For DIY number 10, some of these paper towel tubes and some of these toilet paper tubes. So here I'm going to go ahead and cut them to the sizes that I want. And I'm just going to use scissors to do this. Now here are some fun fabrics that I got from the Dollar Tree, Crafter Square. So I'm going to use all of these. And I'm going to cut them down to the sizes I need. And just like that, they're nice and cut. Now I'm going to begin by taking this piece of fabric that I cut specifically for this paper towel cardboard. I'm going to add a nice bead of glue and press it on the fabric, massage it. That way the glue is nice and spread. And I'm going to add another bead of glue and press it down. And then I'm going to add some more glue on the inside of this fabric and put all the fabric inside of the tube in this manner. So everything nice and tight. Looking good. Here I did all the pieces. Now here I want to change out my glue color, so I'm going to put some needle nose pliers and pull out this stick of glue and find the yellow ones. I want to use these yellow ones now, and I'm going to spread out the rest of the glue until it turns yellow. And now I'm going to go ahead and add this to my DIY. I'm going to turn these into pillar candles, and the yellow is going to look like the candle wax is just melting everywhere. So I'm just going to continue all the way around till I get the effect that I like. And I'm going to show you real quick right here. Look how cute. Here I did them all. Let me get rid of this little piece of glue here. Now I'm going to place all my faux pillar candles in the order I would like. So the formation, I was thinking this would look cute. So here I'm going to take some more of these cardboard rolls and I'm going to fold them to help fill in the insides, give it a little bit of weight. And also that way my LED candles can fit inside without them falling in. Now I'm taking some of this Dollar Tree ribbon. I really like it. I think it's beautiful with the spider webs. And I'm going to place a little dab of glue on the back and adhere this ribbon to help gather everything nice and tight. Snip off the excess ribbon, turn it around, and using the same ribbon, I'm just going to create a quick little bow, like a shoelace bow. And I'm going to try to make it the perfect size. And snip off the excess at angles. Add a dab of glue and place it on the middle of my ribbon. Set that aside. Now I'm going to take this Decor plaque that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take this craft paint and paint it black. And now I'm going to do some dry brushing with some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White, Maize, and Pumpkin. And using my chunky chippy brush from the Dollar Tree, I'm just going to go at it, do the white, and do the yellow, and then do the orange. I allow it to dry completely, painted some LED candles in the yellow, and here's how it looked. For DIY number 11, I'm going to take this wooden plaque from the Dollar Tree. It is MDF, but it's super cute. And look how adorable. It already has all the hangers on the back. I'm going to go in with this Crafter Square fabric in the candy corn theme. And I'm going to spread it on this piece. And I'm just going to cut this super simply. I'm going to basically measure with the fabric itself. And I'm going to make a little notch with my scissors, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, just a little notch. And now I'm going to just rip it open, both notches, and there's my piece. And yes, it fits perfectly. It works. So now I'm going to take some Mod Podge and I'm going to give a nice generous coat on my wooden piece, and I'm going to add my fabric directly right away. Make sure to smooth it all out. I don't want any wrinkles anywhere. Kind of pull it to tighten it up a little bit. Like this. Make sure to press them in the corners. Nice and smooth. And then I'll take some more Mod Podge and add it to the top. And don't be stingy. Do very generous. And go ahead and spread it all around. And now I'll set this aside to dry. Now here it is. Nice and dry. And here I picked up this pack of vintage Halloween images from Amazon, and I love them all. Oh my goodness, they're all so adorable. But this last one is the one I'm going with because Junoween actually means costume party. That's actually what it means, from what I could tell on Google. So I chose this one. I'm just going to adhere with some Fabric Tech fabric glue and place it in the center like this and press it down. And for the moment, I'm just going to add these bottles of paint to hold it down, but it didn't take long to adhere. Now I'm taking these bamboo sticks, and these also are from Amazon, and I'm just going to mark them with my pen and snip off the pieces that I need to frame this inside image. I just love that little image, so cute. And here it is. I'm just finishing up, getting all my pieces ready. Now I'm going to go in with the same colors, the white, the orange, and the yellow. And here they are painted. Oh, and I also painted the frame black. Now I'm going to go back in with the Fabric Tech fabric glue, and I'm going to place these sticks again to go around and frame this picture. So I'll do the white on the top, I'll do a yellow on the bottom, and the longer two orange ones will be on the sides. And this Fabric Tech glue adheres these perfectly. It's a great glue. This, I think, one of my favorite glues now, for sure. I seem to grab it more often than I do hot glue now, so I don't know. I really like it. Now here I got a little bit of glue on the side of this fabric, so I'm just going to take a baby wipe to help remove that. Look at that, so adorable. Now I'm going to take some various ribbons that I had. This orange one, it's like a burlap ribbon from the floral garden section. I'm just going to snip off this much and cut it in the middle lengthwise. And also this Halloween ribbon that's got spiders or spider webs or something. And then this black one, this is a satin ribbon, and this was also from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut a couple pieces of this one. So I'm going to make a messy bow with these ribbons. Now here's another ribbon, this kind of orangey. So I thought that would be cute. I wish I would have had some candy corn ribbon, but I didn't have any. So these burlap ones, I am going to remove a couple of these strands, but I do use them. So now here I am stacking my messy bow. And I'm going to use all these ribbons. And then with one of these strands from the burlap ribbon, I'm going to tie it in the center, nice and tight. And then I'm going to fluff up the pieces, or kind of pull them opposite of each other. And then on the satin ribbon, I'm going to use my lighter to burn the edges, because this kind of ribbon will fray very easily. And the lighter helps to burn it in place and seal it up. So now I'm going to take some of the hot glue and place this ribbon on the very top left corner. And now I'm going to take a couple of these flowers. These are from the fall. And I'm going to take another piece of the burlap strand, and I'm going to tie them together like this. Good double knot. And then I'll just take a little bit of hot glue and adhere this to one of the sides of my picture. I just felt like I needed something flowery. I already have the bow on the left, so I figured little florals on the right would be like a good balance. And then that is it. This is how it looks. For DIY number 12, I'm going to take this little Dollar Tree jewelry box, treasure box, and I don't show it, but I remove all the hardware, and I go ahead and paint it with these 3 colors and put all the hardware back on. And look how good. Oh, it's so cute. So here are a couple extra pieces of fabric that I had from the candy corn printed fabric. And I'm going to add some Mod Podge on the inside of the little box and the inside of the lid as well. And I'm going to place these pieces of candy corn fabric inside and add another nice generous layer of the Mod Podge, because we got to have that layer. We got to seal it up. So here I'm going to do the lid, the inside of the lid, more Mod Podge, in this manner. Allow this to dry completely, but I'm just going to close it for now because it won't harm anything. It won't close together or nothing. So while that's drying, I'm going to take advantage of the time and I'm going to add some more vinyl words for my Cricut. And here I'm just going to add these 3 words that say candy, corn, treasures. Gotta say treasures. It's a little treasure box. So I thought that would be cute. Remove all the transfer tape. These pieces here. This one had 2 pieces of transfer tape because I use everything. I don't throw it away. I just keep reusing it till I can't use it anymore. Now I'm going to seal everything up with some Mod Podge and then allow that to dry. And while that's drying, I found some remnant pieces of Dollar Tree lace that came off the burlap lace ribbon, and I just removed the lace part. And I'm going to add a nice little bead of glue and place a piece of lace on the front. It's hard to see from here, but you'll get a better look in a little bit. And press it down with my silicone spatula because the lace has a lot of little holes. Do the same thing to the back side. Add a piece of lace there. You can kind of see it from here. It's looking cute. And then another little piece on this side. Place it on there. Press it down. And then of course we have to do the other side as well. Just a nice little bead of glue and place the lace. And this was just enough for this little box. I was so happy. I was like, yay! Just enough. Just one of those remnant pieces. Now I'm going to take my scissors and just snip off and trim off any pieces that were a little bit over and make it look more contoured. But look how cute. By now the top is nice and dry. I'm going to add this little bow that I made with some candy corn ribbon that I had on hand. And now to just gild the lily a little bit more, I'm going to add a few little more embellishments. In my stash I have these glass beads. They are candy corn. So I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these. And they're beads, but they are glass, so I think they'll look cute on this little box. So I just took a few and placed some here and there, a couple on the top and some on the sides, and a few on the inside as well. And here's how it looks. For DIY number 13, take these 3 bamboo utensils from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go in with these same colors, candy corn colors, and paint them up like this. Then with my Cricut, I cut out the words that said trick or treat, adding trick to the orange one, adding the word or to the white one, and adding the word treat to the yellow one. Now since these will obviously be in the kitchen, definitely have to seal them up with some Mod Podge like this, just a nice thin coat. And I do this to all 3 and then set these aside to dry. Now for the second part of this DIY, I'm taking this utensil crock and it's made out of ceramic, and I'm taking some painter's tape and I'm going to cover up the part that says utensils. I don't want to paint over that at all, and I'm just going to use my finger utility knife to cut around and remove the excess painter's tape like this until I get it all trimmed off as close to the label as possible, because we'll be painting this black and I don't want that label piece to be painted at all. So just like this. Now once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go in with my spray paint. This is just a Lowe's matte black spray paint. Did a great job. Now I'm removing all this painter's tape like this, and look at that, beautiful. Now I'm going to take some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant and my chunky chibi brush, and we're going to dry brush all over the details of this crock. Look at this, and all these features come out. They just pop. Super cute. Now, of course, we still have to make it look a little bit more Halloweenish, a little more spooky. So I'm also going to dry brush on the ribs that are on the sides of this crock, like this, and up and down motion. Now this gives it a more of a spooky look. Spooky. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Oh, and I did dry brush on the front of the label, the utensils label, just because it was a little bit too shiny. And I'm going over around this rim as well, all the sides, just like this. Now here are my bows and my little embellishments for my utensils, and that is it. Super cute. Put these inside. Oh my goodness, these are adorable. And here's how they look. For DIY number 14, I'm going to begin with this scrap piece of subflooring wood that my husband left behind. So he left it behind, it's mine. And I went in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. And now I'm going to do a little dry brushing with the Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. And I'll do both sides just for good measure, like this. Just a nice dry brushing. Now I'll just set this aside, and I'm going to take some extra scrap wood, and I went ahead and cut these so they're cut a little funny. Don't make fun of me. I'm going to go in with these colors, these candy corn colors, and paint them like this. And then I'm going to take these markers, they're acrylic paint markers, and I'm just going to do a little definition on the edges of these candy corn chunks of wood. And also I'm going to go in with the white marker to do a little bit of highlighting, so to speak, just to give it like a little bit of shadowing or so, just in certain little areas. And I do this to all of my candy corn made out of wood until they look like this. Now they're looking a little animated, which is the look I was going for. And I'm going to go back to my black piece of wood, and I'm going to give it a little bit of framing with these square dowels. And these were left over from another project, and I just painted them black as well. So here I'm trying to figure out if it's going to fit right. They're pretty perfect, just a little bit off, but it was good enough for me, so I'm going to go for it. So now I'm just going to take my super glue wood glue and add some to the bottom of this subflooring piece of wood, scrap wood, and I'll do a little bit of hot glue on both ends. That way I don't have to hold it there forever. And I'm going to set it on top of one of my square dowels like this, and take off the excess glue with a baby wipe, make it nice and clean, and just like that it stays because of the hot glue. Now I'll do the same thing to all four sides. I'll show you one more, and in this case I'm just going up with the super glue, just a nice thin bead and a little bit of hot glue on both ends, putting it down, placing my square dowel on there, and using a baby wipe I remove all the excess glue again, and I go ahead and do the rest off camera. Now here are some pieces of ribbon that I had on hand, and I'm using some Fabri-Tac fabric glue to adhere these on the insides, on the inside edges, because this piece of wood wasn't cut perfectly because it was a scrap piece, so it's not like perfectly cut. So instead of looking at gaps, I'm just covering it up with some pretty ribbon, and it matches this whole theme, so it's perfect. Now I'm going to go back in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color white to do a little bit of dry brushing on my frame. It didn't receive any earlier, so of course got to get that done. And I just go around the whole perimeter of this and get it done. So it looks like this. Now I'm ready to place my candy corn. The tall one is going to represent my husband, he's Papa, and that's the next one is me, I'm short, and then the rest are the grandkids, one granddaughter and 4 little grandsons. and I just adhere them all with some wood glue. And I'm just going to take some of these wooden letters from the Dollar Tree to spell out the words Candy Crew. I thought that would be cute. And now I'm going to go back in with the same candy corn colors, paint them up like this, and using the same acrylic paint marker to define these lines, give it a little bit of definition. I don't go in with the white one, but I do just do the black. And I just kind of outline them all until they look like this. I love the look. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere these. Now on top of this one dowel, it's got a groove, which I was going to fill it with spackle, but hey, this is going to work to my benefit. So I'm going to add these letters in here. They fit in there perfectly. How about that? And I'm just going to adhere with some hot glue, and then I'll place the crew part on the inside and adhere those with hot glue as well. And look how adorable. Now I'm just going to add a little messy bow to finish it off. And look, so cute, but we're not done. No, we're not done. And I decided to do a little bow tie with some orange jute twine. And I'm just going to add it to the candy corn that's far on the right. And that one represents my granddaughter. So she's got to have a little bow. And I'm going to top it off with one of these tiny little yellow flowers. Place it right in the center. And I had more of those little flowers, so I decided to add 3 to myself. And look at this, super cute. Here's how it looks. For DIY number 15, this board that I had painted white is just a chipboard, and I'm going to take some of this antique wax by Waverly, adding a little bit in a dish and some water. And now I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to smear some of this mixture on my board that's painted white, and I'm going to take my heat gun to help dry it in this manner. That way it has this interesting kind of dirt, kind of soil kind of look, because I'm creating a picture of a kind of a spooky farmhouse candy corn sky DIY. So here's my dish. I'm going to add a little bit of this orange and a little bit of this yellow and of course a little bit of this white, and I'm going to create a candy corn sky. So I'm going to wet the rest of this board, and I'm just going to make sure it's nice and moist. That way everything glides. And I'm going to begin with some of the white, putting it down on the bottom to help mix with the brown. And now I'm going to add a little bit of the yellow, kind of blend that in with the white, and then some of the orange to blend that in with the yellow. So it kind of has like a candy corn sky look, but we're going to make this farmhouse. So it's going to be rather interesting. So once I get it the way I want it, and I can see all 3 colors, but yet it's blended, then I'll go ahead and start embellishing. Of course, I gotta let this dry, but I just want this blended as well as possible. Here it is. And now I'm going to take one of these metal windmills from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to remove the chain that's on the back. We're not going to need it at all. And I'm also going to use a little bit of hot glue to help keep this still because it wants to turn, and I don't want it to turn for this DIY. And now I'm going to add a little bit of this mixture that I mixed up with the antique wax and the water, just to distress it a little bit more, even though it's pretty well distressed, I think. But it doesn't hurt to distress it a little bit more. And here I'm just going to dry it with my heat gun. Now here is my picture, nice and dry, and I'm going to place this windmill on this left side of my picture, and I'm going to use some E6000 and a little bit of hot glue. And I gotta say, I'm loving this candy corn sky. I feel like I've seen this combination quite a few times out in the sky. Never thought about it as candy corn, but once I placed it on this picture, it's just so cute. I love it. So here is my hot glue, placing it down, and I'm going to use some of the craft clips to help keep it in place. That way it has time to dry and cure. And now I'm going to go in with some of this boxwood from Walmart, just little pieces. I'm going to cut them up and I'm going to place them on the board as if there's bushes everywhere, greenery. And I also use some of this fall looking reindeer moss and a variety of pumpkins as well. And now with all my glue dry, I can remove my craft clips. And now I'm excited to use the black marker again because I want to put a little message up on top, and I'm just going to write, beware, enter at your own risk. And I first do just use the fine point, but then I do go back over it to make it a little bit more bold. And I'll embellish with 2 of these wood pieces that I just colored, and I'll place the jack-o'-lantern a little bit hidden in the bushes, like it's a little bit creepy. And then the bat, I place it on this side here, and then I do place another bat on the other side a little bit later. And now I'm going to place a nice big bow on the top right hand corner and a smaller orange gingham bow just to make it cutesy, even though it's supposed to be a little spooky. But here's how it looks. For DIY number 16, one of these truck plaques from the Dollar Tree. I'm removing the jute twine hanger, but we will see that later. Now I'm going to take 3 of these tumbling tower blocks, and I'm going to take them and adhere them to each other to make one longer piece. And I'm just using regular hot glue. And if you guys hear rain, yeah, we're having a rainstorm today. So I'm going to take some more hot glue and I'm going to adhere it to the back of the truck like this. It's going to create like a little shelf. And now I'm going to take these peg people. These were from Amazon. And I'm using a dad, a mom, a little girl, twin boys, and a little toddler. Now I'm going to go in with my same candy corn colors, paint them like this. I'm going to take some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color white to do a little bit of dry brushing. Now this is going to be a gift for a friend of mine, so this will represent her family. But if I was doing this for myself, I would dry brush it with some black. Yeah. Yeah, make it look a little spooky for Halloween. But it's a gift, so, and she likes the white. So, white it is. And I'm just going to go through this whole truck and just do a very light dry brushing everywhere until it looks like this. Just look how adorable. Now I'm going to take some more of my acrylic markers and I'm going to do a little bit of details. First, I'll do the little faces. I'm not great with faces, but simple eyes, mouth, and nose is pretty easy. I do give the mama a little bit of eyelashes. Didn't look too bad. And the little girl, of course, make it simple. The little boys, I gave them kind of a crooked smile. Believe me, it's appropriate for them. And they know it. But look how cute. Oh my goodness. Now I'm going to take some of this yellow. And I wanted to do dots on the truck. But this yellow was very light. And it's hardly noticeable from here. But you can see them. Now the little girl, I decided to use a little bit of yellow for her hair ties to match her dress. And now I'm going to take some of the white and I'm going to do some polka dots on Mama's dress. And I also do the girl's dress as well. So look, Mama's got long hair. And yes, they are redheads. So they are perfect for candy corn people. Oh my goodness, I can't even express. So the little dots for their little girl's dress as well. Look how cute. And then for the boys, all the males, I'll take the orange and I'll just do little buttons on the white shirts like this. Super cute. And the little toddler, I give him like pajama polka dots on his little yellow shirt. He's usually in pajamas anyway, so it's cute. And now I'm ready for the fun part, assembling everything. So I'm going to add my little people up top. but I'm noticing there's not much of a ledge. They're falling off. So I'm going to turn this back over and take 2 more of the tumbling tower blocks, adhere them together like this, and then adhere these as a second level on the top. Just make it a little bit taller. That'll be good. And now I'll touch all this back up with some of the orange paint like this. Now this is a little bit more substantial. This will be easier. And now I'm going to take a heavy bottle of paint to hold this truck up, and I'm going to begin to assemble this. And I'm just going to do a dab of glue, place a little girl in the front, and add one of my twin boys, and then add the toddler in the back. That way everything's spaced out perfectly, and add the second twin boy. Now I'll do a little bit of embellishing with some of these florals, and I do add the mom and dad. And here's how it looks. For DIY number 17, strip it down to the bare, and I'm going to use the same mixture of the Waverly Antique Wax and water and painting this whole piece with it. Rather dry brush it, and I'm going to dry it in the same manner as I did DIY number 2, just to give it that effect. Now I'm going to go in with the same colors that I used for the candy corn sky. I'll begin with the white and just using my chippy brush to make it look a little bit dry brushed. And I'll also use the yellow and then stacking it with the orange in this manner. And I usually don't include myself painting in my videos unless it's some kind of a special technique. Now here's my camera all nice and dry, and I painted everything, back side, front side, the little round. And I'm going to go in with 2 of the wood cutouts that I painted with the pastel markers. And I'm just going to add the jack-o'-lantern in the lens and the little bat over on the left side, because this camera is taking a picture of my farmhouse candy corn sky. Okay, so here's this carrot that was left over from Easter. It had unraveled, and I'm going to utilize this jute twine that's already orange, so it's perfect. And I'm just going to add a little dab of glue on the base here of this lens outline, and I'm just going to go around this whole piece with this orange jute twine. I'll do it twice. I'll go around twice very carefully, and I'll also go around the whole camera as well, just to give it some interest until it looks like this. Now I'm going to take my lighter and burn off all the fuzzies. This jute twine didn't have a lot of fuzzies, but it had a little bit, and I want it to look nice and clean and neat, so to the lighter it goes. Gotta remove the fuzzies. And now using the same jute twine, I just created a cute little bow, and I'm just going to add this to the very top in this manner. And now I'm going to go back in with my marker, and I'm just going to write the word boo, and I'll outline it a couple times so it's nice and bold. And that is it for this DIY. I think it's super cute. For DIY number 18, I'm taking this cute little calendar from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take my marker, flip it upside down, or actually my pen, and I'm going to attempt to draw a large candy corn. Okay guys, I am not an artist, okay? I'm not an artist, but I try. So here's my best, and I'm just going to take my EMT shears, and I'm going to trim off the excess. And these shears are great for cutting materials like this. It's a heavy duty powerhouse. It gets it done. So here I'm finishing trimming this off, and now I'm going to take all this paper off, and I'm just going to rip it off. It comes off pretty easily. Now I'm going to go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color white. I did end up removing the little box with the calendar pieces, and now I'm going to take my yellow and start creating my candy corn. I'll do the yellow on the bottom like this, and I also do it on the back. I want it to have a full look, so I'll go ahead and do that. And now I'll take a large craft clip to hold it up to have it dry. And now I'm going to take the orange and do the next layer in the same manner and on both sides like this until it's all nice and dry. Here it is, nice and dry. Now I'm going to take this little box and I'm just going to take some hot glue and adhere it in the center of the bottom like this and add my little pieces. And I didn't show it, but I gave the little pieces a little bit of embellishments, and I also added a black ribbon here, and I put this on the perimeter of this box on the outside. And then I didn't show it, but I also added a bow with that same ribbon. But here I'm just adding this ribbon, and I'm going to take my Fabric Tech glue. Works great for ribbon too. Oh, that rhymes. And I'm just going to go around this whole box just to give it another little added look. Incorporate a little bit of black. Now I would have preferred the blocks inside the calendar to be black as well, but can't have it all, I guess. But gray's not too bad. So here it is. Look how cute. And like I said, I did add a bow and these little embellishments, and that is it. Look how adorable. Here's how it looks. For DIY number 19, witch hat palette plaques from the Dollar Tree, and these 3 colors. And I'm going to take some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and I'm going to dry brush all of these little hats, and I'm going to do the front and the back, and especially focus on the edges until it looks like this. Now here they all are, nice and painted and dry. And I'm going to use this board that I had painted white for another project. It's just one of those Dollar Tree long boards. And like I said, it was already painted. And I'm just going to go in with that same black paint to stress the piece. And now I'm just going to add my witch hats to the sign, adhere them with some hot glue. And now I'll go back in with my black acrylic marker, and I'm going to write trick or treat. And I'll go over it a few times to make the writing nice and bold as well as I did the others. And now I'm going to take a variety of beads and some jute twine, and I'm going to string some beads on these pieces of jute twine for some embellishments for the witches' hats. And I'll use one of these candycorn wood beads for the bottom and a couple of the orange ones because they're a little bit smaller on the top. And I'll do a set of 6 of these. And now I also have these little bows that I made out of orange and yellow gingham ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And now I'm going to add a little dab of glue and place 2 of these embellishments on each bow with a little bit of hot glue like this. And I'll do this to all 3, and then I'll snip off the excess jute twine, and that way I have cute little embellishments for the little witches' hats to make it look cute. Now had I thought about it earlier, I could have just strung these through the holes of the little witch hats, but I didn't think about that until like after, so this was plan B. Now I'm just going to burn off all the fuzzies, of course, because this jute twine has a lot of fuzzies. And here's how it looks. For DIY number 20, can you believe I found one of these galvanized metal ghosts from the Dollar Tree in my stash from last year? Yes! So I'm going to remove this jute twine. We will be using it again, but I need it removed to go in with these paints and paint it in these colors, of course. Do a nice thick layer of Mod Podge and spread that all the way around because this will definitely come off easily without it. And while that's drying, I am taking this piece of metal and these super magnets that I bought from Amazon, and I'm going to take some Fix All add a little dab of glue on each of the little magnets, like this, just a teeny tiny little dab on all three. And then I'm going to take some more of those glass beads that I have. And like I mentioned, those are from Amazon. And I'm just going to add one on each of these magnets in this manner. Allow those to dry and cure. And in the meantime, now we'll continue with the little ghost. And because I added the thin layer of Mod Podge, now I can add these decals with no problem. Because if you try to add decals without the Mod Podge, I guarantee all that paint's going to come right off. And look how easy. Look at that. Nothing came up. Mod Podge for the win. So here is my Junoween word, or should I say decal. And we're going to place that on as well, and you're going to see how easy it is. Just place it on there, and then just remove the transfer tape. No problem. And on the other side, I added the words that says, "Eat treats and be spooky." And I'm going to go ahead and do another layer of Mod Podge and embellish, and here's how it looks. For DIY number 21, MDF wood blocks from Christmas that I had stripped down, and just using these two paints to paint this in a candy corn pattern. And now here I'm taking one of these lids that I like to use for my DIYs because of the plastic. It's got a lot of potential, and this particular one is from a spring mix container, so don't throw away those lids because this plastic comes in handy. So now I'm going to take my marker and I'm just going to use this to outline the shape of the mason jar, because we are creating a jar, with a faux glass, which is the plastic. And now I just go ahead and snip off the excess with my scissors, and it fits perfect. So here I'm going to use this craft glue from the Dollar Tree, but it takes forever to dry. I ended up removing it and using E6000 instead, and it worked much better. So here, E6000 for this, even though you're seeing me with this craft glue. And now we can place our plastic on the front of our faux jar and allow this to dry overnight. Of course, remove any excess glue that might ooze out, and this happened as well with the E6000, so definitely remove that. And I just use a baby wipe. Now here it is nice and dry, and now I'm going to use these polymer clay candy corns that I purchased off of Etsy, and I'll include this in my description box. And I'm just going to allow them to drop in there, kind of like a shaker box. It's going to be super cute. And now I'll place this galvanized metal piece on the top of my jar, which is supposed to be the lid. And of course I'll use the E6000. I'm not playing anymore. And of course a little bit of hot glue to keep it in place immediately, like this. Now I do outline this whole piece with the black marker, and also I'm taking that same orange jute twine and I'm wrapping the whole piece with this, burning off all the fuzzies, of course, try not to burn the plastic. And then I made a quick little bow with some cute beads hanging down, and I added the words "Got Candy" with some vinyl, and this is how it looks. For DIY number 22, set of these 3 small terracotta pots from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go in with my same colors, paint them up like candy corn. They look super cute. And of course I'll do a little dry brushing with the black ink color from Waverly, and I'll do this to all 3 pots and a little bit on the inside as well, just in case you could peek in there, because these will be little pots. They'll be used for pots. And I'll do the top See how cute? And here they are, nice and dry. And now I'm going to add some little bows, the same gingham bows I've been using. I just adhere them with a little bit of glue. And now I'm going to add these small styrofoam balls for my floral foam because they fit in there perfectly. I don't have to cut anything. And just add some glue to place them inside. And I'm just going to use these large candy corns from the Dollar Tree and some of this boxwood looking stuff and some moss. And here's how it looks. For DIY number 23, beads, including some more of these candy corn shaped wood beads from Amazon. And I'm going to take some jute twine and I'm going to create a garland. And I'll just begin by taking my jute twine and adding a little bit of glue on the end just to make a makeshift needle and string my wood beads in this manner. And now I'm going to create a large tassel, and I'm taking one of these wood plaques from the Dollar Tree, adding a wood dowel where the groove is on the top, and I'm just going to wrap this jute twine around. I don't remember how many times I went, but I went pretty generous. So now I remove the dowel, and now I can place my jute twine through and tie it with a triple knot to secure it in place. And now I'm going to add a couple of ribbons that will complement my garland. So some of this orange gingham ribbon and some of this yellow, I think it's from the bees, like a bee ribbon, or you know what, it might be the gnomes, but they're both from the Dollar Tree. But I think these colors are super cute. And I'm just going to tie this and secure this in place. Now once I get this secure, I'll go ahead and take my scissors and cut this open. And now look, we have a large tassel. And now we just need to finish it up by wrapping the tassel with some more jute twine. And I don't remember how many times I go around it, but I go around quite a few times until I get it to where I like it. And then I'll just secure the end with a little dab of glue just to make sure it won't come off. Nice and secure. And now once I get that done, then I'll go ahead and give this whole tassel a little haircut. And then I dovetail all the ends on the ribbon pieces. And now I'm going to take my lighter and burn off all the fuzzies. And now I'm ready to attach my beads to my tassel. So I'm just going to simply place this jute twine through the tassel top, snip off any excess, and I'm going to tie it in a triple knot to make sure it's nice and secure. And then the ends, I will take a little bit of hot glue and place it on the three ends like this, and kind of roll it with my finger and put it back through the first bead. So now everything is nice and secure and you won't even see the knot or anything. The top will be the bead and the top of the tassel. And you can use your weeding tool to help poke the jute twine back through the bead. And also you can use some hot glue with a detail tip and secure that in place. Now we'll go to the other side, and for this side I'm taking one of these cute little wooden scoops, and I'm just going to adhere this in the same manner with a double knot and place the jute twine back up the bead again to conceal the jute twine end. You won't know what's there. You won't know where it begins, where it's at. And secure this with some more hot glue. Use my weeding tool again until I get it to where it's nice and secure. Snip off any excess jute twine. And now I'm going to use some more of these polymer clay candy corn pieces. And again, I'll link it in my description box for you guys. And I'll add a nice glob of glue on there and just pour these in and kind of press them down gently. Don't touch any hot glue. Just kind of very carefully push them down. That way you don't see any glue at all. You just see a nice scoop of candy corn, and add a cute bow. And here's how it looks. For DIY number 24, little gnomes. I thought these cute little gnomes would make such cute little candy corn gnomes. Look at the little hats. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to go in with these markers one more time, and I'm going to use the black one for their eyes and for their belts and anything else that needs a little bit of accents. And then the colored ones, the orange, white, and yellow, I'll use for their shirts to do just little polka dots, because I didn't want their clothes to just be one single color. I wanted them to have a little bit of interest, and I think they came out super cute. Here's how they look. For DIY number 25, I'm going to take 12 of these tumbling tower blocks and place them in this manner, 6 and 6, and get it nice and straight. Get everything nice and tight and even. And I'm going to go in with some of the wood glue, adhere them all together, and I do this to 3. And we're going to make a little book stack. So I'm going to use these paint colors. Now I'm making these DIYs for my tier tray, and I don't have a book stack of the candy corn theme, so I had to do that. So now here I cut out with my Cricut these tiny little words. I probably could have made them a little bigger, but I wasn't sure, and they came out super tiny. But it's okay, we'll just go with it. So this one's gonna say sweet and spooky. Now you can always write these with just a marker because they are pretty small. And normally I would just use a marker to just write them out, but since I was already cutting out some other items with my Cricut, I just added it to it. I just made them too small. Okay, so here I'm using some of the wood glue again, and here I'm going to adhere them all together on top of each other in this candy corn pattern. And now I'm going to take some Mod Podge and give it a nice little coat, because these letters are teeny tiny and I can just see them falling off super easily. So here we'll just set that aside, allow that to dry on its own. Now I'm going to take some of this ribbon from the Dollar Tree. It's the spider web. This is one of my favorite ones. I'm just going to take a nice little piece to place around my little book stack and adhere it in the back or underneath. Place a little dab of glue, press it down, and put the ribbon all the way around to the other side. And now I'll have a little book stack for my candy corn themed tier tray. So now here I'm going to take the same ribbon. This time I'm just going to make a quick little bow to place on top of my book stack. And I have a little bow. And I'm just going to cut these tails at an angle. I'm not going to do any dovetails, just quick little angles. Add a dab of glue and place it on the center. Look how adorable. It's looking so cute. I'm going to take a couple more of these glass beads, and I'm just going to snip off the wire. There's wires on them, the kind of like fishing wire, like nylon fishing wire. So I'm just going to snip those a little bit, trim them down, and I'm going to add a dab of glue to the wire, to the nylon wire. And I'm going to pull the nylon wire just a little bit so the glue will go inside the bead, and that way it'll stay. Now once it's locked in there, now I can trim off the top part of the wire, add a dab of glue to it, and place it underneath my bow. So it just kind of hang down like a little charm. And then I do the same thing to the other one as well, same thing, and place it underneath. Look how cute. And now I'm going to take some more of these flowers. Just love these flowers. I'm just going to snip off one of each, do a little dab of glue on each of them, and place them on the other side of the bow in this manner. Look how cute. Just underneath the bow. Like this. That way it's not too overdone, yet it looks cute. And that is it for this one. Look how adorable. Here's how it looks. For DIY number 26, I'm going to use 2 of these styrofoam pumpkins. One I was able to open, but the other one I could not. So now I'm going to go in with these 3 colors again and paint them up like this. Now I'm going to take some of this black chalk paint and my chunky chippy brush. I'm just going to do a little bit of dry brushing just along these gaps. I'm not sure what they're called, but along these gaps on these pumpkins, just to give it a little bit of interest, make it look a little bit like it's old, like it's been sitting around. And I go ahead and do this to the other pumpkin as well, both pieces, until they look like this. And now I'm going to take 6 wooden beads, 2 of each of the candy corn colors, and I'm just going to add some hot glue to the bottom of these 2 pumpkins and add 1 color of each to kind of get them to stand up a little bit. And it looks like it kind of makes a face. I thought that was so funny. But yeah, kind of like eyes and a little mouth. I don't know. But it kind of rises them. So now I'm going to take this trim that I got from Walmart. And here is where I messed up this pumpkin, where I was trying to open it, but it wouldn't open. I guess this one had plenty of adhesive, so I wasn't able to open it at all. I'm just going to go around this whole pumpkin with it. And then for these other 2 pieces, I'm going to use these pieces of rickrack. I'll use the yellow for the orange and the orange for the yellow until they look like this. And both are very unique. And this one here that opens up, I love this. So cute. And here's how it looks. For DIY number 27, 3 of these party hats. They're just from the Dollar Tree party section. They're the little mini ones. And here I'm only using 2, but I do end up using 3. And I'm removing all of the elastic that's inside. We're not going to need it. And I'm going to give them a coat of white paint. And now I'm going to go in with the chenille yarns. This white one, this yellow one, and some of this orange one. This one's from Amazon because Dollar Tree did not have orange. And I needed orange, so I'm just going to take a gathering of these and kind of like push them inside the gap where the fold is, and adhere it with a little bit of hot glue. Press it down with my silicone spatula because this is really hot. And once I get that to set, I remove my spatula, and now I'm taking the 3, holding it in this manner, and I'm just going to twist it and wind it around this cone. And I'll add some glue every now and then just to make sure everything's nice and secure. And I actually made these before, but for Christmas in the candy cane stripe pattern. And I'll include a picture here if you guys want to see what it looks like. It came out really cute. So now I'm just going to continue to add this yarn and just keep going around. And then at the end, I'll just wrap it inside like this with a little bit of glue. Just press it down in there with my silicone spatula. And of course I do this to all 3 of my party hats. And now they all have that candy corn pattern, super cute. Now to make sure that they're a little bit weighted, I'm going to add a generous amount of hot glue inside the party hats where the paper meets together. And this will help it be a little bit more weighted and of course more secure. And now I'll just top them off with some cute little bows. And this is how they look. For DIY number 28, I am taking this wooden little truck from the Dollar Tree and some of the white apple barrel paint, and I'm going to begin by painting the cab portion of this little truck in white. And then I'll go in with the apple barrel paint in the color yellow, and I'll paint the rest of the body in this color yellow, like this. Looking cute. And so now I'll go in with the apple barrel paint called jack-o'-lantern, and I'll do all the wooden wheels. And I also do the little man. I give him like orange hair, like this. Look how cute. Okay, so now I'm taking just this fine point pen. This one happens to be from Cricut, and I'll just give him a little face. Just a simple little face, 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. And now I'm going in with one of these garlands from Dollar General, and I'm just removing one of these candy corns, and I decided to remove the little head for the time being, and I'm going to make a little incision in the middle of the candy corn, and I'm going to add this piece of dowel, or not dowel, this bamboo skewer, because I'm going to place this on top of the little truck. So here I figured it's a little bit too long, so I'll go ahead and just adjust that and add some hot glue to the hole where the head was, and I'll insert the little dowel, not dowel, the bamboo skewer in there. And now it's looking really cute, but it looks like we need the little man, so I go ahead and glue that in place and just place it underneath the candy corn. So it looks like he's driving the truck from the outside, I guess. But look how cute. Now you can leave it like this as is, or you can go in with the Waverly chalk paint and the color ink like I'm about to. And I'm going to take my chunky chippy brush, and I'm going to distress all the wood surfaces, all the edges, the wheels, the front, the top, the bottom, the underneath, all of it. I just don't do the candy corn itself. For DIY number 29, we're taking this little birdhouse. So cute. It's got a lot of splinters, so I went ahead and did a little sanding with my finger sander, and now I'll go in with my acrylic paint by apple barrel in the white, and I'm just going to paint the 2 top portions of the roof in this white, like this. And once I get this done, then I'll go in with my yellow. Beginning to see a theme. This is a candy corn themed DIY video, so yeah, you'll see this a lot. Okay, so now the yellow, and I'll do the next portion of the roof, or should I say the bottom portion of the roof, until it looks like this. Cute. And now, of course, here comes the orange in the color jack-o'-lantern. And I'll do the body of the house, and I'll go all the way across to the sides, the front, the back, all the way around like this. So here I picked up these window clings from Walmart, and what caught my eye were the little candy corns. There were 2 pretty good sized candy corns on there, so I thought, definitely gonna use these. But the purple edges don't really go with my color scheme, so I'm just taking my scissors and just quickly removing the purple off of them until they look like this. So now I'm just going to place them on my little house to see where I want them, because this is going to be their little house. So now I'm going to go in with some of this dishwasher safe Mod Podge, and I'm going to take my little candy corn window clings and place some of the Mod Podge on the underneath side. And I apologize for being out of frame for a little bit, but yeah, I'm just adding the Mod Podge to them. And so then I'll stick them on the little wood house, the front of the wood house, and I'll go in and add more Mod Podge to the front to help get rid of some of the shine on the window clings, and also to secure them a little bit better. I want to make sure they don't fall off or peel off. I think they're so cute. I want them to be permanent little residents in this little house. So cute. So yeah, look how cute. Oh my goodness. So now you can leave it like this, or you can go in with the Waverly chalk paint and the color ink and do some distressing. So with my chunky chippy brush, I'll do the same as the truck, and I'll distress this little house all the way through, mostly focusing on the edges until it looks like this. Look how cute. But yeah, you have choices. For DIY number 30, I am taking this little ceramic witch, or it kind of looks like a scarecrow. You guys tell me, what do you think it is? I think it's a witch, or a scarecrow with a witch hat. So I'm going to go in with some of this wood chalk paint in the color ink, and I'm going to begin by painting her hat in black and leaving the middle portion white for now. And I'm going to take the yellow and paint the hair like this. She's got some hair on both sides. And then after I'm done with the hair, then I'll take the orange and I'll paint her face in with the orange like this. And I don't show it, but I do go in and give her some eyes and eyelashes to make her cute. So here I'm taking these pieces of candy corn fabric that I had left over, and I decorated her little hat with it. And I also took a little piece to give her a little collar as well, like this. Look how cute. So here I'm deciding I'm going to use this vase as her body. Look how perfect this would be. So I'm going to go in with the orange and the yellow because the bottom's already black that matches the hat, and the top is already white. That is one of the candy corn colors. So I'm just going to go in with the yellow right underneath the white, and then I'll do the orange between the yellow and the black like this. Look how cute. And this will be her little dress. Super cute. Okay, so now you can stop here, or you can go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink and do some distressing. Yes, we're going to start with her hair just to help bring out all the features on her hair, and a tiny little bit on her face, not too much, and of course some on the back. But yeah, just tiny little bits, real light. You'll see it better in the final reveal, but yeah, just real light with the black. And now I'll go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color steel to help distress the hat. So we'll begin with the edges of the brim of the hat, and we'll also do the top part of the hat. Because yeah, her hat has to be a little bit old, right? She's a witch. And here is my vase, nice and dry, and we'll do the same thing. We'll go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and I'll lightly distress all the white, the yellow, and the orange in this black. And again, you can leave it alone or you can distress it. It's your choice. But I kind of like the distressing of it. I think it just gives it some character, makes it look a little bit worn. And I didn't show it, but I also went in the color steel on the black as well, like I did the hat. But you won't see it here. You'll see it later on in the final reveal. So now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do to adhere this head to this vase. And so I picked up some of these remnant pieces of a craft stick that I had, and they happen to fit underneath her head perfectly. So I just hot glue them together. And here I'm making sure it's going to fit on top of the vase, and it does. So I go ahead and add some more hot glue and place it underneath her head till it's secure. And I'll go ahead and adhere these two pieces with my Gorilla Glue, and I'll just allow that to dry naturally overnight. And now she's just basically done. Look how cute she looks. For DIY number 31, I am taking one of these little balsa wood shadow boxes with the little jack-o'-lantern on it, the little face, and I'm just going to go in with the same colors. Begin with the white apple barrel paint, but I'll do a full coverage with the white. So like this, I'll just paint the whole thing. That way it has a nice good base. And now I'll go in with my yellow, and I originally wanted to just do the eyes, but I ended up touching the mouth a little bit. And first I was going to leave it like that, but then I thought no. So I'll add orange now to the bottom portion, but in a minute you'll see where I fixed it to where the whole mouth is just the orange and the eyes are just the yellow. And I'll go ahead and paint this all the way around the little box like this. And it's looking super cute. Now again, you can leave it as is, or you can go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink like I'm about to. And I'm going to work on all the little edges and give it a light distressing on the front of the face because it is supposed to be Halloween. And then a little bit on all the sides, just real lightly on the sides, just to just to give it a little bit of character, like this. And on the top and the underneath, all of it. And look how cute! Cute! For DIY number 32, I am taking one of these little ceramic pyramids, and I'm going to go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color white this time, because I want to do a full coverage, and I want to make sure it's nice and covered. I don't want any color peeking through. And now I'll go in with my color yellow, and I'll do the middle section like this. And now I'll go in with my orange, and I'll paint the bottom section like this. And you can leave it as is because it's looking really cute like this, but I wanted to embellish it a little bit more, so I picked up this orange pack of jewel stickers, and I'm just going to go around the bottom perimeter and place them on there just to give them a little bit of bling. Yeah, just a little bit of bling. Look how cute. And I don't show it, but I did go in with my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. And for DIY number 33, and for this DIY, I picked up this little pumpkin from Dollar General, and I'm removing the middle stem and the little beads. And I'm going in with this pack of cute socks, and they are in the candy corn print, so how perfect. So first I'm going to begin by placing the little pumpkin inside the sock and trying to figure out how much I need to snip off of the sock. And I'll go ahead and snip it off, the excess. And then I start poking in all the sock edges and poke them inside. And look at this, it looks like a little animal. It looks like a little bear. So I just used my bamboo skewer to do that. And now these little beads, I wanted to paint them. So I painted them in the candy corn colors. And so now it's just a matter of placing everything back together, adding the little beads where they were on the little stem, and adding the stem back in. And I went in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink on the stem just to give it a little bit of highlights because it looks too brown and plasticky. So here I'm just going to give it a little bit of character, just a little bit of dimension of color. I don't do a full coverage, I leave the brown alone. I just kind of go around and do a little bit of the black. And I also do a little bit of the black on the leaf. The leaf is like a felt, so it looks really cute. Okay, for DIY number 34, decided to do a tier tray as well, because why not? So I'm taking 2 of these trays from the Dollar Tree and a plastic bowl. And I'm going to go in with this Krylon Fusion Matte Black paint. And I also do a water bottle from the Dollar Tree. And so now I'm taking some of this deco mesh, and it's the candy corn print. And I'm going to begin by rolling one end, rolling it up and clamping it. And then I do the opposite end the same way, and I'll clamp it. And I'll do the same thing in the center at 2 different spots, like this. So one clamp here and one clamp here, just to help control it a little bit, because it wants to go everywhere. Okay, so now I'm taking the end and I'm going to go around and threading it through. And I'll go ahead and thread it back on the inside. And I'll secure it with a double knot, like this. And I'll add a little bit of hot glue just to help it secure a little bit better. And what I noticed is when you add hot glue to the ends of this deco mesh, it kind of secures all the little craziness of the deco mesh. So hey, that's a win. So here I'm just clamping it in place while the glue dries. And here are my 2 trays ready to go. All I have to do now is to start assembling. And so here I'm taking my little bowl, and it's got a gap on the inside. So I'm taking these little wood pieces and just adding some hot glue and adding glue on top and placing my little bowl underneath. And that is the bottom of my tray. And then here's my water bottle, adding glue to the bottom of this. And hot glue is sufficient for all this because all this is just plastic. And then I'll just adhere the top tray, and that is it. I am done. And here's how it looks upside down. And here's how it looks right side up. For DIY number 35, I'm going to begin with one of these wreath forms. This one is an 18-inch wreath form from the Dollar Tree, but I end up using a different one later on. Now here I'm using these two pieces of cardboard. They measure 6 inches by 12 inches and a smaller piece in the center. And I'm taking a piece of tape and taping both sides because I'm creating a tool cutting guide. Now here is some tool that I picked up off of Amazon, and here is a number for it, and I will add everything in my description box in my Amazon storefront for you guys. Here is some orange one, and then here's some white. And these are all 100 yards, I believe. And now all I'm going to do is take my tool and I'm going to wrap it around this cardboard like a bolt of fabric kind of thing, and just wrap it around. And I think I did a good 20 times total, but it just depends on your size of the wreath you're using. And now here is the little gap that I'm just going to simply cut through with my scissors. This just makes measuring and cutting out tools so much easier. I can't even express. And now I'm going to show you how I tie this tool in. All I'm going to do is fold it in half and take a loop and pull it through in the knot like this. And now there is a different way to tie it, and I will show you the alternate way. And this way you just loop it in the opposite direction like this. So you see it looks a little bit different, so you have choices. I chose the one on the bottom. For me it was a little cuter, so I'm just going to do my whole wreath in this manner. Now here I did change out my wreath form. I changed it out to a 14-inch instead of the 18-inch, and I have the majority of my yellow completed. And the reason why I changed out the wreath form is because the green one had 3 of the wires going through and this one had 4. So I wanted my wreath just a little bit more full. So that's why I wanted to switch it out. Now here I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with my orange tool. I'm just going to wrap it around my tool cutting guide that I created out of cardboard. And I'm just showing it again to review. But look how simple it is to cut this tool with this guide. Oh my goodness, so easy. So now I'm going to begin to add my orange in the same manner, and I'm going to alternate all the 3 colors. Here I'll add another orange just to show you. And now I'm going to quickly cut some of this white tool in the same manner, again just to review and show you just how easy this is. This is totally a game changer. If anybody has ever cut tool, you know it slips and slides everywhere. So this is fantastic. And now I'll just show you real quick. I'm going to add some of the white, how it looks. You just fold it in the middle and then tie a knot going through the loop like this. And then what I did is I took the rest of my supplies, went to my couch, watched a movie, and just worked on this as I enjoyed a movie. And in no time, I was all done. And so look like this. Look at that. Now this is really full. Look at this is the way it looks in the back. So pretty. Now we set this aside. Now I'm going to take this giant wood piece from the Dollar Tree, and it's a ghost. But let me tell you, this thing is humongous. They make them big this year. So I went in with these 3 paints to create a candy corn theme. And then I had this ribbon in my stash, and I created a quick bow for this little girl. This is a little girl ghost. So I'm going to create this cute little bow and dovetail the ends just to make it look super cute. And I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue and adhere it to the very middle front of her little dress. Now I'm going to place her on this wreath, and I'm trying to figure out the position where I want it. I think I know. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to take 2 pieces of tulle and cinch them in the center and add a dab of glue and adhere them to the back, because I'm going to use these 2 pieces of tulle to tie this little girl ghost into the wreath. So once the glue is set, then I'm going to go ahead and place her in the center and then flip the whole wreath over. And I'm going to find those 2 pieces of tulle, those extra pieces to tie, and I'll tie it to the wreath like this. Just a good double knot, nice and tight, so she's close to the wreath, because in a minute you'll see that the wreath will end up looking like part of her dress. So now here she is, nice and tied in there, looking cute. Now I'm going to embellish her with a couple of pieces. I'm going to take these candy corn picks and I'm going to snip off the bottom off. I don't need that. And I'm going to take another piece of tulle, to finish off the bottoms of, or the ends of these picks. Add a dab of glue and place them on her little hands because she is celebrating her candy corn. And I'm going to take another couple pieces, actually 3 pieces of all 3 colors of tulle, tie it in a knot, and then add a dab of glue and place this on the top of her head to make like a little bow. And then I created another tiny bow out of that same ribbon and placed that on there. And that is it. Here's how it looks. For DIY number 36, I'm going to begin with one of these wood rounds from the Dollar Tree, and I'm not going to paint it or anything. I'm just going to remove the hanger that's on here. I'm not going to need it. And I'm going to use some of this burlap fabric that I found, and it's in the orange and burlap check. I thought it was adorable, perfect for fall. So I'm just going to spread this down, and I'm going to take my mini easy press to press out all the wrinkles, and I'm also going to snip it in the size that I need. Now I'm going to take some Mod Podge in the mat, and I'm going to saturate this piece of wood on this side like this, and now I'm going to lay my piece of burlap on top and gently pat it down. It's still wet, and now I'm going to set it aside so it'll dry completely. Now it's nice and dry, and I'm going to go in with my mini easy press again just to make sure everything's nice and adhered, especially all the edges, because sometimes the edges, they don't adhere very well, so just we'll make sure. So now I'm going to take some scissors and snip off the excess, set that aside, and now I'm going to take one of these wooden wreath base forms from the Dollar Tree. They're made out of MDF, and they just happen to fit those rounds perfectly. So yeah, so I'm going to take one of these hula skirts from summertime. I knew I had to pick one up in the summer because I knew I would need one for the fall. And now I'm going to remove a piece of the jute twine that's holding the skirt, snipping it off, and then I'm going to start pulling off these pieces. The knot is easy to remove. It's almost the same as placing it in this manner, just like this. And I'm going to snip off what I don't need because this is extra long. The extra pieces, I do go back and tie them back in. And just like that, this thing is full. Now here is my round. Look at that. It really does fit perfectly. So now I'm going to take some of the Fabric Tech fabric glue, and I'm going to add some glue around this whole circumference of this circle. And that way I can adhere the ring around it. Or I should say on top of it. Like this. And this sets up pretty quickly. Like seriously, it's set. Here it is. I'm just showing you the back side that it fits perfectly. Now I'm going to go in with some of these florals from the Dollar Tree. These are new, these berries. And I'm going to use the colors orange, a burgundy type, a white, and then some of these flowers from Walmart. I thought the colors were almost perfectly in line with candy corn. So I'm just going to join them all together, and I'm going to take a zip tie and press them together to secure them in place in this manner. And now I'm going to snip off the excess zip tie, and now I'm going to take some hot glue and adhere it in this spot right here on the side, pressing it down with my silicone spatula until it sets. Now it's set. Now I'm going to take some corn because this is candy corn, and I don't know, these corns, they kind of look like candy to me. I don't know, I thought this would be perfect. So here I'm trying to figure out some placement, and I think I'm going to go with adding some glue to this piece and adding it to the top of my florals, and then crisscrossing it in this manner, adding some more hot glue, pressing down this lighter yellow, and then adding the darker yellow in the center, and pressing everything down until the hot glue sets. And once it's set, then I'm going to take some more hot glue and making sure that all the other pieces of the corn are nice and secure. Now I'm going to take some of these pumpkins. These are on the clips, alligator clips, but I removed them. I don't need them. And I'm just going to add some hot glue and adhere them in different positions where I think they would look cute and kind of natural, like in a farmer's market or something. I don't know, maybe. And I'm just going to add it in here. And then I found a few loose pieces of florals. So I'm adding some of these leaves and these pieces of vine that are just random pieces that I found from other projects. I'm just kind of sticking them where I think it would look cute, like this. And now I'm taking one of these Give Thanks wood words from the Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 5 or 6 or so. And I thought this was perfect to go into the thankful and grateful season. And then I found this ribbon from the Dollar Tree. It's almost the same as my burlap piece, a little different, but similar color tones. And this will be the only ribbon that I'll be adding to this wreath because there's so much going on. But you know, if you make this, you can do whatever you want. And I'm just going to adhere this on the grouping of the corn. And that is it. Here's how it looks. For DIY number 37, I'm taking one of these foam wreath forms from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go in with some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. Give it a full coat like this. Set it aside. Now I'm taking some more of my tulle. This time I created another tulle cutting guide. This one's going to be different size. It's going to be 6 inches by 17 inches. Because the wreath form is pretty thick, so I need more tulle to create the look. So here is my little cutting guide, and here I'm going to begin with the yellow and doing it the same way as I did DIY number 1, wrapping it around and just wrapping it around as many times as you need to. I think I did about 15 times or so, and then taking my scissors and snipping open the ends in this manner. And now I'm going to begin to tie these pieces of tulle onto my wreath form. Now I'm going to do the same way as I did the DIY number 1, except for the ends will be a lot shorter, as you can see here. And I'll continue to add my tulle, alternating in 3 colors. And then I also doubled them. And now here I'm going to show you what I did when I doubled this last piece. Here is the second one of this yellow together. And now I'm going to tie them together to create a fluffier end. Now I'm going to go in with these candy corn pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. These are new this year. And I'm going to snip off some of the ends, and I'm going to poke them in the wreath form because it is a styrofoam. So I'm just going to kind of open up a little gap because it's a little bit difficult to push them through this tulle because the ends are pretty thick. So now I get it to look like this. Now I'm taking a couple pieces of extra tulle, and I'm just going to tie some bows around the base of both of these pumpkins in this manner. So you gotta have some bows somewhere in this wreath. And now I'm going to go in with some of these florals. These are from Walmart, and I really like these because they're in the candy corn colors in a yellow and orange. And so these picks are easier to poke in. They're just more sharp on the bottom. So I'm just going to poke them in the wreath form, and then I'll flip this whole thing over and add some hot glue to adhere everything in place nice and secure. And then I'll take one more piece of tulle, make a knot, and use this to create a hanger. Now this is just going to be adhered to this wreath form. I don't need to tie it. This whole wreath is pretty light, so it works perfectly. And that is it. This is how it looks. For DIY number 38, I'm going to take these new LED solar candles from the Dollar Tree. I thought they kind of had the shape of candy corn. So I'm going to remove the bottom part and go in with these colors and paint them up like this, and then put everything back together. And now just have to turn the lights on in this manner, and these lights, they flicker. They're so cute. And here's how they look. For DIY number 39, I'm going to begin with 2 of these Dollar Tree tall candles. These are the ones in the yellow, and they have a plastic that covers them, so we have to remove that. Next, I'll take some of this orange burlap ribbon that was from fall from last year from the Dollar Tree, and I'll snip off a piece that I need to go completely around these jars, and I'll do 2. And I'll also remove a couple of the strands on the sides, just so it'll look a little frayed. But before I add that, I'm taking these remnant pieces of chiffon fabric that I had from another project from Halloween from last year. I'll put it here up on the screen so you can see it. These are just remnant pieces, and I'm going to do a little bit of white on the top, and using my Fabric Tech fabric glue, I'm going to adhere this piece completely around the top of this tall candle in this manner, and this Fabric Tech glue adheres very nicely, very quickly. So now I'm going to take some of this white mesh ribbon. This is from the Floral Garden section of the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take enough to go around this candle as well, this jar, and pressing it down on the existing adhesive that was on there. Now I'll place my orange burlap ribbon around it. And I'm really liking these different textures. I think that is such a cute look. So I'm adding this with the Fabric Tech glue as well, putting it nice and tight. And I'll do this to both. Now I'm going to take these remnant pieces of jute twine that were from the burlap ribbon, and I'm just going to tie a simple knot and bow. But later I do end up adding a sprig of some pretty florals that you'll see in my next DIY. So it won't end up looking like this. It'll have a little sprig where the bow is, and it's going to be super cute. So yeah, this one was super easy, and look how adorable. And this is how it looks. 41 number 40. Bases from the Dollar Tree, they're just plastic. And I'm going to take a pair of these candy corn stripe socks, and I'm just literally just going to place the sock on there. I'm putting it through the bottom, and I do this to both. And I'm just going to embellish them real quick with some messy bows, and I'm just taking a variety of ribbons and kind of wrapping them around each other until I get them as full as I want. And now once I'm happy with that, then I'll take a piece of jute twine, a nice long piece, and I'll go ahead and cinch it in the center and tie it really tight in a good triple knot for good security. And now I'll kind of spread the layers apart a little bit, that way I can cut them open a little bit easier. And once I get that done, then I'll take my scissors and I'll just cut through these layers, these bows, and that's the messy part. That's what they call it, a messy bow. And then I'll just fluff it all up and get them all nice and separated. And I'm taking the ends of my jute twine and tying it to the back in a good double knot, and snip off any excess jute twine, of course. And now I'm going to take these tea lights, these LED tea lights, and I'm going to place them inside the vases on the underside. I wanted to use the fairy lights. I think they would look cute, but I couldn't find any, but these will do. And here's how they look with the lights off, and here's how they look with the lights on. If you're on Instagram, here's my QR code. I invite you to scan it and come follow me on there. I post on there Monday through Fridays, as well as TikTok. Here's my QR code for there. Here is my QR code for Facebook, also Monday through Fridays, as well as my Pinterest. Here's my QR code for there, Monday through Fridays. And my Threads account. This is my handle, also Monday through Fridays. Here's my Home Talk QR code. I invite you to come scan it. Post on there twice a month. I do have a Facebook crafting group. I invite you to come join us there. And if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy day to watch my video. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And to my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong. And have a great, great day. Bye-bye.